Hello, you are listening to the Tiny Vet Podcast with me, Dr. Nicole, and my fiance, who is... What's he looking at?
I'm trying to think of a little thing to say. Hi, I'm Jez. All right, what's the podcast?
I'm really glad he hasn't had a bank of these, but...
No, I have them. I keep forgetting, because we're recording these in a bunch, I keep forgetting to go in the other room and get my iPhone, which has the notes on it.
Dun, 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 dun. And today's topic is...
Forgetfulness.
No, vets have to pay for vet care as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Like we don't,
not cool.
even we don't get it for free, so there's literally no reason.
Weird response from me that I was like, hey, yeah, this is why we're broke all the time.
Yeah,
Wicked.
We can't even get it for free, therefore, no one really can get it for free. Mm-hmm. I just paid off a $2,000 vet bill for my own pets. Mm-hmm. And
this is just for one of the rabbits, right? Wasn't that
no, you're right. It is just for Ella.
Yeah, just for one tripod.
One tripod. And to be fair, she's old. She's 10 years old, and she does have a lot of problems. She is currently sleeping very deeply. Mm-hmm. But yeah, $2,000. So that's it's probably what. $3,000 to $4,000 in kind of what we would charge.
If you were not a vet.
Yeah, if I were not a vet.
Sure.
But it's still very expensive. Things cost money. So, for example, let's say Ella's had a bunch of CT scans. So the drugs that I use to sedate her, those cost money.
Sure.
And the in-hospital treatment takes up the paid time of my colleagues. So let's say I CT her and I've got to do something else after that. Mm-hmm. My nurses have to keep an eye on her, and we've got to pay
so
them
they
money.
Need to be paid.
Yeah, so that costs money as well. And the CT machine, they have to be serviced. Like, for example, to replace a part on it can be $50,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
It is a big number. So it's not like, oh, we already have the machine. It's just no extra cost. There is actually an extra cost.
Right.
Every time it's scanned. Yes, I read the scans myself.
In that case, I just really want to thank you for the time that you let me come into a vet clinic and you...
Nope. That may or may not be illegal.
That you may or may not.
Nope, absolutely not. Nope.
All right, I feel like... Well, now we're going to cut it out, but... All right, fair enough. Thanks for cleaning my teeth that time. Anyway. We normally get a staff discount. Right.
And... Like
what's that, like 15%?
Depends on the clinic. It's usually 15 to 50.
Okay.
So it just really depends on the clinic and what their setup is. So yes, we normally get a staff discount. However, part of the staff discount also means that because we are there and we are working for them, we also kind of subsidize our own animals' treatment.
Yeah, sure.
If that makes sense. So let's say, if you go, all right, we need, dressing changes, usually you just do that by yourself, or you do it after hours, after you finish for the day, and they're not paying you.
With all your free time that
all
you
my free time,
have.
so much. Yeah, absolutely. And also, I've got a wholesaler account with one of the big vet wholesalers here, so I can order medication and stuff directly from them.
Right.
Legal here, and the legality depends a little bit. But man, stuff is expensive. My horse Rocky, he was on a joint supplement for a while, and I got it wholesale price, which I get it cheap.
Jointly with another horse?
He was an ex-race horse for like 9 years, so his joints probably needed a bit more TLC.
Yeah, sure.
But I can't afford it. I can't afford it anymore. I cut it out. I think 6 months ago because I said, man, even with the wholesaler prices, I can't afford to give that to him anymore.
Yeah, it is interesting because I think owning a horse is generally something that wealthy people do. You're not wealthy.
And I couldn't afford it.
But you just love animals so much. So you end up accumulating animals that you accumulate responsibility for that are very expensive to own. Because, Ella's, rabbits are not, expensive animals as pets go. But then as a rabbit gets older, well, now it's going to cost you more money. The horses, you already got an older horse. He costs a bunch of money. You're part owner in a couple other horses. And they cost money. I think vets don't make a huge amount, and then what they make, they always end up spending
on our own animals.
They end up just accumulating as many animals as their income can bear.
That's actually really true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to afford a horse if I wasn't a vet and wasn't able to do a lot of that stuff by myself.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be possible.
And you're not even
for
an equine vet, but
Man, I have learned. Like when Rocky cut his leg, so about 3 years ago, my horse, he cut one of his back legs open to the bone. You could see the bone.
He kicked a fence trying to get another horse, right?
Correct.
Because as you say, he's the greatest horse ever.
Oh, he's an idiot. And when he did that, I still spent about $1,500 on his treatment,
and
even though
that was
me.
It up, right?
Yeah, I stitched it up. I did everything, and still on materials, I still spent that much. So
antibiotics and stuff?
Yeah, so not including my time. So bandage and dressing materials, really expensive.
Right.
I think I set up everything to change a bandage one, and then he pooped into the fresh bandage. And I think I cried. I think I just sat there and wept because it was like the thing itself was $10 or something like that. And I would change them, every day, every second day, that kind of thing. So these things end up being really expensive. Antibiotics, he went through so much because he's a 500 kilogram animal. You dose them by the weight. He was going through, I think, like 2 bottles of the stuff every week. So that was a significant cost. Sedatives as well. So, I was touching his bone, so I had to sedate him. And, if you're sedating them every so often, once a week, twice a week, it does add up as well.
Sure.
They're quite expensive. I think usually for sedatives, it's like $6 to $10 per mil.
Right.
So it is expensive. It does add up.
Yeah, because he's so huge.
Yeah, he's enormous.
Yeah.
Local anesthetics. So I had to do a local block every time when I would treat the wound. And when you do a local block in a leg, you want to be really careful with asepsis and making sure everything's clean. So I had to scrub this iron clip and all of that.
Right.
Also, that costs money.
Yeah.
And suture material.
Right.
Suture material is like $15 for a packet.
And so how much? So you spent $1,500 in materials. How many hours do you reckon you spent on the leg thing?
Oh,
because I remember.
Man, I was there. Yeah, I was crazy.
Like you were constantly going back there to check on him.
And, so I think for the first 2 weeks, I was there every day for at least 2 hours each time.
Yeah, sure.
And then as it started to heal, I could be less involved. But this is absolutely not counting in my time.
This is so it's stuff like this. I think is why generally wealthy people own horses. Because they can pay for someone to do all this.
Oh, absolutely. I think if I had to call a vet out for that, it would have been probably about $5,000.
Yeah.
By the end of the day.
Yeah, if not more. I mean, 2 hours every day plus $1,500 in materials is a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, we've got to pay a significant amount for vet care as well. And one of the reasons we subsidize it is because we do a lot of the work ourselves.
Right.
And yes, you go, oh, well, that's convenient. It costs like $200,000 to go to vet school. So. Is it really?
Hey, but at least you make a mediocre income.
Yep. That's correct.
You give to animals.
The Tiny Vet Podcast is brought to you by Upilio. Sources for our topics can be found at upilio.io. Outro music by Matt Charleston.